See how the latest wave of Chinese regulatory concerns impacted stocks, and how you can use warrants to capture these moves from Singapore. This is Darren from Macquarie Warrants, here to share with you the market action we saw in the month and what warrant investors can look out for in the coming weeks. After the regulatory crackdown on China's private education sector in July, markets face fears of newly scrutinized sectors as the Chinese government extends its firm grip across its domestic companies. For example, the Chinese gaming industry, which has been dealing with increasing regulations over the last 3 years, faced another shock after a Chinese state-owned news agency criticized the addictiveness of games, calling them opium for the mind. The wave of Chinese regulatory clampdowns caused volatility in Chinese company shares as well as China-related indices to spike. The Hang Seng Index, for instance, saw volatility levels rise from an average of 20% to as high as 60% in July, as the index tumbled 14% from the start of July before retracing almost half of its losses in the last 2 days of the month. Investors keen to trade on these short-term moves on HSI during Singapore trading hours may consider doing so via Macquarie's HSI warrants, which allows investors to go long or short on the HSI Futures Index. So, what are warrants? Warrants move in line with the underlying they follow, meaning if the underlying stock or index went up, so will the call warrants. Put warrants move inversely from the underlying and will increase in price when the underlying stock or index falls. In the table, you will find both call and put warrants over the HSI futures, allowing investors to trade on a bullish or bearish view. Investors should note that these warrants do not track the cash index, but rather the HSI index futures, which you can find the prices available on our homepage. When the HSI futures tumbled almost 4,000 points, or 14% from 28,600 at the start of July to 24,700 on 27 July, the HSI call TYDW fell 93%, while the HSI put warrant spiked 213%. At this point, investors who felt the sell-down was overdone and the HSI was poised for a rebound could have considered buying a call warrant. At this point, investors would probably wish to look at selecting a call warrant with a lower exercise price given the lower index level post the 14% drop. In this case, YWBW, which has a 27,200 exercise price rather than the earlier example of TYDW, which has a 28,000 strike. This call warrant jumped 70% when the HSI rebounded 6% in 2 days from 27 to 29 July, while the put warrant LUAW fell 25%. So how do you know how much more a warrant will move given a move in the underlying price in the short term? For that, investors can refer to the effective gearing level as an indication. Say if a warrant had effective gearing of 10 times, it means the warrant will move around 10% for every 1% move in underlying share or index it tracks. The gearing effect is one of the reasons that make warrants popular, but notes that gearing can work both ways, meaning warrants will also move in a bigger magnitude or percentage than the percentage move in the underlying should you get your view wrong. Tencent, being the largest constituent of the HSI, was the key contributor to the index's decline. The shock to gaming stocks struck Tencent the hardest, as the largest video game publisher in the world by revenue saw its stock plummeting by up to 11% within a day, its biggest decline in a decade. Deemed as the worst stock performer in 2021, Tencent saw an approximate 170 billion wipeout of its market capitalization as the stock crumbled 42% from its high seen in January. Equipped with an effective gearing of 6 to 9 times, the Tencent warrants move in magnified gains compared to the underlying stock listed on Hong Kong Exchange. Investors keen to gain exposure to Tencent may consider the recently listed Tencent call and put warrants. So how do people trade structured warrants? Listed on the SGX, structured warrants can be traded via brokerage account just like how you trade shares. Meanwhile, warrant issuers at Macquarie provide continuous warrant buy and sell prices to ensure that warrant investors can easily enter and exit from warrant positions. So contact your broker to start trading warrants today. For further details on trading warrants and to find out if you're qualified to trade warrants, click on the link in the description or feel free to contact us at our warrant hotline. Lastly, don't miss out on next video and exciting warrant news by scanning on the QR codes and subscribe to our channels on YouTube, Telegram and Facebook.